Welcome to Piranha 2 Cast. I'm Ellis.
The Spawning?
Today we're talking about Piranha 2 The Spawning.
Are we?
The best film of 2021.
Is it? I think it came out like 30 years
It
ago.
came out a long time ago. It came out in the 80s. So
Piranha 2 is equal to Space Jam 2?
we can get into Space Jam 2 later, maybe. I don't know. But we're talking about the films of 2021, our favorites, maybe our least favorites too. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't remember everything I saw, so maybe we should just go by like...
I've got a full ranking, so we could just I could just bring up all the films. we can go chronologically, or we can go like I didn't ask. Either way.
It's snowing.
It is snowing where we're at.
Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
Currently at 2206. Also, Mason just sent me a random like photo of him on our channel, just be like, sheesh.
Yeah, he did that too. Yeah.
I was like, it's 40 views.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I've been updating my 2021 films ranking on my Letterboxd at Goat Chico. Be sure to check it out.
Your boyfriend's a nerd. Just kidding. We got a special guest.
Why do you do this every time?
We got a special guest, Doc. Also, Trinity's here. Live studio audience.
So,
I accidentally plugged the mic. Okay,
so what would you say was the most mid film that you remember watching this year?
fuck. Definitely Black Widow and Eternals are up there. And then,
Black Widow was extremely mid.
like, I swear to God, it was like mid-ad
I
again.
have it below the Fear Street trilogy.
I didn't even see those. Does that even count? It's like Netflix.
They're movies.
They don't count.
They're movies.
They're not real movies. Let me look at this list. I didn't see like half of these. Have you seen a lot of like top 10 videos of the year? Like Sex just like spent like a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like number one, which is respectful.
Is it in my top 10? No, it's not. I have that 15th, but and I did not like that movie very much. So
I would say Malignant. That was a mid. That was just bad. Say with Old. Fuck, The Boss Baby 2. I did not see that. Red Notice was surprisingly mid. It was fine.
Terrible.
It was terrible. It was just, if they didn't have the main actors, it would have been like absolutely dog water.
Even with them, it's so bland. Like that's just no.
I guess Black Widow was the most mid. Eternals was just bad.
Yeah, I gotta say.
Besides visually.
Spoiler alert: the best film of the year was Dune, and I didn't think I didn't see a movie that I liked more than Dune.
Literally, Spider-Man: No Way Home, best film ever made.
That is actually my second favorite film of the year, Spider-Man: No Way Home. It's actually probably my personal favorite, maybe, but I think Dune was better. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for the input there.
I don't know. My favorite is probably like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Is that in there?
Yeah, of course. Ghostbusters Afterlife, 24. It's just below Malignant and just above Mortal Kombat.
I didn't see Mortal Kombat, but I heard it kind of sucked.
It wasn't very good. So, do you wanna maybe talk about this like I bring up film working my way up, or do you want to work your way down?
Just bring up like a movie you like think we both seen.
Well, I saw quite a few of these with you. Spiral. We talked about Spiral earlier on.
That's one of our first videos.
It was, yeah.
One of our first videos was our first video was Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's been like almost a year.
That is kind of crazy. It'll be a year like March.
I've watched it like probably like 8 more times since, but like.
Have you?
No.
I was gonna say. that's like half your life. Snyder cuts.
1 second. Hello.
Hey, they might want to move their car. They can pull it in the driveway between your car and Dave's because they're coming through with plows.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, her car.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just talking about my car. I was like, it's at the driveway. Did they come with the drive? All right, bye bye. No, walk out in socks. This is staying in the video, by the way. I don't have time to edit. I have time to sleep.
Spiral wasn't very good.
Spiral was like
I remember enjoying
fine.
it, and I like
Bye bye.
had a good time in the theater, but like it really wasn't that good. There's got to be some structure to this. So let's start at the bottom. So what I put as the worst film of the year is Space Jam: A New Legacy, and I haven't seen Matrix Resurrections, but I don't think it's worse than Space Jam: A New Legacy. You know, I feel like a lot of people here don't follow my letterbox. You wanna hear my review?
Sure. I like IHEs. You know what, guys? They did it. Hey.
You know what, guys? They really did it.
Hey, hold on.
Hold this.
Fuck.
Oh, it's not pulling up. Hold on. Let's reviews. Did you see Space Jam, Matthew?
I've seen the first one.
Did you see A New Legacy?
I avoided that. Also, I did have a girlfriend that wanted to see it. I feel like she might have if I brought it up.
I really hope not, for like your sake.
I almost had to go on a date to see Ghostbusters 2016.
It's been a while since the last time I watched a film in the theater and genuinely felt like vomiting. It somehow took the mantle of the worst film of the year from Tom and Jerry. That film may have been a train wreck, but Space Jam: A New Legacy is honestly an entirely different monster. This completely disposable picture not only fails on every fundamental level, a bad script, lack of interesting short shots, literally no serviceable performances, and a shamble of direction, but it just straight up slaps the viewer in the face. It's clear the only point of the film was for Warner Brothers to dance about and show off all of the popular media they own, sacrificing all evidence of proper filmmaking in the process. It's a heartless, soulless, worthless production that is almost too nonsensical to even comprehend. I can't think of who this was even made for. Like, seriously, who do they make it for?
You know what, guys? I think they did it.
Is it a kids movie? Or
I guess it's technically a kids movie.
Or but they're banking completely on a nostalgia of older people.
Yeah,
so
kids are like 5.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, the 90s guy.
Yeah, Looney Tunes are like universal, but like they're well known by people from older generations. And also, they're not even featured prominently enough in the film to actually work that way. Nothing really felt like.
Oh, there's a review that was so fucking funny. They were like, I don't even remember the film because it's like a fever dream.
It really was, because there was so nothing to it. We never did an episode on it because you didn't see it. But
also, why would you want to do it?
Space Jam was absolutely awful. Like, seriously.
Bugs turns into Big Chungus and a kid in the theater lost his shit so hard his mother had to take him outside and forgot the entire film on the drive up. So fast when he gets in. He's a naughty dog. Yeah, Big Chungus was in the film. What was Trinity's thoughts on Space Jam 2 specifically? I'll buy you the Steelbook. I saw it at Best Buy, like the Little Jordan Creek. They still have it. We can go cop it.
I would rather die than own a Steelbook of Space Jam: A New Legacy. Easily the worst film of the year.
Top 5 of all time. Would you say it's one of the worst theater experiences you've ever had?
No.
Besides the fact that you're with your girlfriend in like a lovely movie theater, probably.
Yeah.
Besides that, like the film viewing experience.
It's one of the worst films I've ever seen in the theater. Yeah, I would say that.
What is the worst film you ever seen in a theater? That's fucking Paul Blart 2.
Maybe The Last Airbender.
Paul Blart 2 was depressing.
Paul Blart 2 was really bad.
That was actually
I did see that
depressed
in the
me in
theater.
the theaters in the first 5 minutes, and then there was like an hour and 40 left.
I did see that in the theater. But no, the
last
last
fucking unfunny.
The Last Airbender was maybe. I'm trying to think. I've seen a lot of bad movies like on home media. Not as many within the theater.
I'd say my best theater experience is probably like Sharknado. Kidding, of course. It's probably it.
My second worst film of the year. You also haven't seen Home Sweet Home Alone.
I avoided that like the plague. I haven't seen the first Home Alone in years. I enjoyed it as a kid. I think I saw the second one a few times. I never saw like the other like 4 directed video sequels. Because like they changed the kid 3 times, they like changed the family, and then like they do this one because I think it's a canonical sequel to like the first one, isn't it? Because I remember hearing they have like an original character like show up at the very end in like the last 2 minutes.
Right.
And that's like the reference.
Yeah. Home Alone 3 is awful. Home Alone 4.
I heard the biggest like terrible one about this one is that they make like the villains like sympathetic, and then just have like a kid you don't like just brutally beat them for like an hour and a half, and then it ends happily. Like, and also, what the fuck is the title? Home Sweet Home Alone?
Yeah, no.
Home twice? Home Sweet Home Alone. Maybe it should be Home Sweet Alone.
The title alone made it a 1 out of 10.
Title alone.
And then I watched the film and it was even worse. I think Space Jam: A New Legacy was such like a worthless cash grab that it was worse. I don't think they expected to profit off of Home Sweet Home Alone.
Yeah, why'd they make this? It was direct to Disney Plus. It's like it needed to be made. It would have made money if they put it in theaters like a little bit.
Probably. I don't know. It was seriously awful though. I hated the entire experience. I watched it with some family members and I was just like depressed afterward. I hated it. It's honestly worse than Santa Jaws. It's a worse Christmas film. It's a worse Christmas
Santa
film
Jaws is a
than
classic.
Santa Jaws.
You didn't even watch the whole thing.
I pretty much did.
Also, I forgot to tell you this earlier. Best Buy made out like the movie. She's like, I can't give this one a bad review. I haven't seen it. And I was like, yeah, I also haven't seen Shrug Gnomes. And you give it a bad review. And she's like, that's different.
I'm actually gonna kill her if she keeps on with that, dude. I'm like so angry about it. Then after that, Tom and Jerry.
I saw that.
You saw Tom and Jerry.
I was the highest fuck at that movie theater when I watched it. It was still terrible.
That movie was so bad.
It's weirdly sexual.
Tom and Jerry? Why not?
That's all of Jasmine.
It's an awful film.
And Sean.
Oh, that's
and
even
Tommy.
worse. Oh, Tommy. Oh, no.
Tommy in the movies is kind of sus.
I gotta say, Tom and Jerry, there was literally nothing.
It was abysmal.
There was also,
like, I love the cartoon as a kid, but it never worked as a movie.
There was nothing redeemable about that movie. Each of these three we've talked about.
Michael Pena was in it.
There's been nothing redeemable about them so far. Red Notice I have is actually the fourth worst because I watched that film.
By yourself?
Yeah. There's nothing. It is nothing.
It's such a nothing movie.
There's nothing to it. It's so bland.
The whole
nothing
selling point is just the chemistry of the
interesting.
characters.
Oh yeah, I'm the Rock, and spoiler alert for Red Notice, but I'm the Rock. I'm actually kind of the villain. No. What?
His acting was terrible. Ryan Reynolds is probably the best actor in it, but that's just because he's just playing Ryan Reynolds.
It's just Is
this guy from Free Guy? It could be the same character.
Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are like the quintessential, like they play the same guy in every movie.
Hey, Kevin Hart.
These are four.
Does Kevin Hart act anymore?
I don't know. I
think he was like The Secret Life of Pets 2 was the last project he was involved in.
Yeah, so his career is pretty much on a downward spiral. But The Rock, The Rock's gonna live strong though because he was in
from the
Red
book
Notice.
of Saw.
Red Notice was terrible.
Well, like I
did give it a 2 out of 10 though because it wasn't as irredeemable as the.
It was watchable.
It was just so bland.
Gal Gadot was terrible.
Such a worthless film.
She was terrible in it. She was like marketed as like the main character. And she was like the villain and like barely in it.
Yeah.
And she was like secretly having sex with The Rock the whole time. That was a twist.
And I gotta say, a lot of personal hatred for the next one because it's Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, I love that one. I'm just kidding. It sucked.
Yeah.
I've seen some rankings that where they have it like higher above like the Amazing Spider-Man films, which is just wrong.
Maybe 2, but that's a stretch.
At least that has like Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie.
No, Venom Let There Be Carnage. I think it was slightly better than the first Venom. But as I wrote in my review, that's like comparing a slap in the face to a punch. So
it was terrible.
It was really bad.
I guess I wouldn't hate myself if I watched it because it was so unbelievably short.
It wasn't unbelievably short, but it was a short film. Yeah.
It was like an asylum film length. And it was carnage. And it was PG-13.
Now, Let There Be Carnage was awful.
And Venom was terrible. And the whole post-credit scene was the only redeemable part, and No Way Home completely made that worthless, which I feel like was deliberate from Marvel's point of view.
Right, yeah.
And we got Morbius coming out, which I'm fucking gonna kill myself. It's already be at the bottom of my list, I know that.
Morbius?
It comes out in January. Yeah, bottom of 2022 is gonna be Morbius.
Well, I mean, we don't know how awful
it's gonna be like the bottom 10.
It doesn't look very good, though.
Jared Leto in like a main character role playing a fucking vampire in a Sony-produced PG-13 film in the Venom universe. Tell me any part of that sounds like interesting or redeemable.
You know what's right above Venom Let There Be Carnage?
Let me guess.
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
I didn't see that. I haven't seen either of them.
It's also a nothing movie. It's literally.
It's Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson.
The first one genuinely got a couple laughs out of me, I will admit. This one didn't because
he's like a hitman, but he has a bodyguard. Why does he need that?
Just constant humor, and Salma Hayek is terrible. She's been terrible in everything I've seen recently.
She was fine in Eternals.
She's been terrible
because she died.
In everything since frickin' Grown Ups. Okay.
She was good at that.
No, that's where the bad started. That was a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
I don't even want to talk about that one. We'll just move on to the next one. Okay, what do you think was above the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard?
Like Space Jam 3. They released 2 in the same year.
Can you imagine if they did that?
Space Golf.
Golf Jam.
Guys, we got Tiger Woods in a film.
I'm really sad that we never got a Golf Jam with Tiger Woods.
That would actually been interesting because it's like different sport.
Yeah.
Not just basketball again with Bugs Bunny.
With a different
And a black
athlete.
guy. Just another black guy.
Okay.
Black guy that can hop. A local bug.
It's F9.
I still like the Steelbook.
Thoughts on F9? We actually did.
It was actually terrible.
You can go check out our F9 one because I just remember us being really excited at the end of it because we talked about the Halloween Kills trailer. We didn't care about F9 at all compared to that trailer.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, some of the action was fine, but that's like a given with these movies because they're like mass produced and like they have a lot of like star power, so they have a lot of money to make at least like decent looking action scenes. And the space scene was absolutely atrocious. I mean, it was funny to watch at the theater because I'm like, they're actually doing it. This is somehow more inconceivable than a talking raccoon and a spider guy.
It was so funny how nonsensical and frustrating.
They think they're cool because they're like aware now, and like they're like, oh yeah, we know we're dumb. It's like no.
It's like no, just stop making these movies. I don't care.
And stop teasing Paul Walker at the end of every single one. Stop it.
Paul Walker's here. Paul Walker.
He's still alive. He's babysitting. He's babysitting for 2 hours.
There's a lot of sequels this year. Above that's Escape Room Tournament of Champions.
I didn't see that.
Very nothing film. Just nothing.
I heard the ending was terrible. And, like, the Blu-ray had a completely, like, different ending that changed the entire movie.
Yeah. It was just like the first one. The ending kind of sucked. And the first one was kind of interesting because it had...
It was like Saw, but PG-13.
Well, yeah. And it had some unique set designs that were actually really interesting. Some good set pieces that actually could keep me engaged somewhat.
I'm sick, by the way.
But the sequel...
Do I sound weird?
A little bit.
Ugh.
It's not that much off. But this sequel was just so unnecessary. It was so dumb. None of the plot...
Like how it's the second movie and then the trailer, like, Tournament of Champions.
Yeah. What is this? A Tournament of Champions?
No, it's a fucking
so
train.
Fucking cringe, dude. I hated that movie, too.
I hate everything.
I've hated all these movies so far. I hate everything, though. He's great. And then, actually, the next 3 are all sequels. Boss Baby, Family Business.
You watched that?
Don't
willingly?
Breathe 2.
Willingly?
And the Forever Purge.
Willingly. And that's the 5th one. And they still sell the 4-pack as, like, the all collection.
Don't Breathe 2 was terrible, by the way. I don't know if we ever really talked about that.
I didn't see it. I mean, it seemed like at least it was like they took like a different story direction, but like they completely failed with that story direction. Like at least give them props for doing something different, but also why did this movie need to be made?
It didn't need to be made. The way that they treated,
why was the first one?
The way they treated all the characters just completely robbed what the first one was, and then it was also just terrible from a fundamental level.
Yeah, because the guy's like a rapist, like a murderer.
I don't want to talk about Boss Baby.
And he's like a villain.
And the Forever Purge was the 5th in the Purge franchise. That's all you need to say.
That was the first one I think I saw completely. Besides the first one. That movie was
after all these sequels, we finally get somewhat of something original, and it's freaking Cruella.
Did anybody like that movie? Isn't Cruella 2 greenlit?
Yeah. They're making Cruella 2. IHE and Ralph will give it
Spider-Man
half star.
4, though?
The Amazing Spider-Man 3. By the way, can we talk about the Amazing Spider-Man 3 hype just everywhere? Everyone wants
I'd be down to see it, but it's also been like 8 years. It's also just going to be a Sony movie again. What's going on over there? Shorty! I'm just kidding. I recently rewatched the Amazing Spider-Man films, and while they are still bad and really not needed,
I swear to God, if you try to justify the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I swear I will
the only redeemable part of
room.
those films is Andrew Garfield as an actor is very good. So was Emma Stone, but she's dead, so we don't care about her anymore. But not in real life.
She was in Zombieland Double Tap.
The subtitle was Double Tap.
Well, that actually
major release
that
film.
actually made sense.
And then well, let's not forget Boss Baby 2 back in business. Like the first one wasn't already in business. What are you talking about? I like the interview with Tobey Maguire because I guess he was in Boss Baby, and he's like, it's funny because he's like a boss, but he's like a baby. And it's like, you were Spider-Man.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire was actually involved with that. I was like, what?
He hasn't been like in a film since like The Great Gatsby. And he's like, Boss Baby speaks to me. Also, why'd they go to him?
I miss Tobey Maguire.
I wish he was in a film this year.
Yeah, me too.
My back, it's just, all the swinging.
So badass. I wish black people were real.
Spider-Verse is just a death blow on the list because I just hate animation. Absolutely amazing film, though. Now, on to Spider-Man 3. Slightly above.
I hate Spider-Man 3.
3 out of 5.
Okay, this is a movie you probably didn't see, Spirit Untamed.
What?
It's a DreamWorks film, Spirit Untamed.
They made a film this year?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I gave it 1 star. It's a 2 out of 10. I don't even remember it actually. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and Spiral. I have as the next 2.
Spiral was. I haven't watched it since, so it's probably a lot terrible than I remember. But it was fine when I watched it in the
When I
theater.
watched it in the theater, I enjoyed it. I really did. Like I acknowledged how terrible it was, but I enjoyed it.
People really hate Chris Rock.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he did fine.
He did fine for Chris Rock.
Role.
I mean,
it was at least not Ryan Reynolds and The Rock.
Chris Rock will just never be able to escape what his career is and what his personality.
Some of his opinions
truly
on the
fits.
film are very dumb because there was like that one like special feature where he was like talking about it and he's like, it's just like if you replace any film with a comedic actor, it's just it's the same movie. It's just different. And he's like, did you hear yourself?
It's the same movie. It's just not the same movie. And the cartoon The Devil Made Me Do It was just kind of a pointless. Like,
the devil make him do it?
Why'd they release this like third film?
Like 8 years later.
And there's also like 4 other.
Oh, so why James Wan not direct it? This is Trilogy.
I don't know.
Was he too busy doing Malignant?
No film that we've talked about so far has had any characters that I actually enjoy.
Hey,
not one.
Top Party.
The characters are usually my favorite parts of film. So.
Trinity's vibing, bro. Bro, I need a shiny Rejoice.
And then next is Free Guy, which seems to be everybody's favorite for some reason.
It was like a 1.5.
I gave it 1. It's a 2 out of 10. I hated Free Guy.
It's like a celebration of Ryan Reynolds. Like we need the celebration of Ryan Reynolds.
The first time I watched that, I was like, okay, this is moderately entertaining. And we talked about it on the podcast.
I could watch it again. It's like watchable.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
not
it
good.
does have some genuinely enjoyable moments. I can't lie.
And the script is genuinely probably pretty good if it was actually made by like somebody with like a vision.
On rewatch, I actually really didn't like the script at all, and none of the characters were actually.
I haven't rewatched it to be honest.
And
Allie loved it.
I couldn't really enjoy it. It felt like a lot like Ready Player One.
That movie's also terrible.
I don't know which one I prefer, Ready Player One or Free Guy.
Probably Free Guy.
Probably Ready Player One for me. Because it's
the main character.
It's just
so
all
terrible.
It's all fan service, and there's no true like essence to it. There's nothing that's actually.
And then what was it with at the end? Like I know why it's there.
I hate the lack of substance.
At the end, it's because Disney bought the film. At the end, there's like, Marvel reference, Star Wars reference. It's like, why is this here?
It's just all jammed in there.
The Chris Evans cameo. The Chris Evans cameo was actually funny though.
It was funny, but at the same time, it's like Chris Evans.
Why does he have a beard again?
Hey, Jacksepticeye was it?
Yeah, and he like was it Markiplier in it?
No.
I think did he deny? He's like, this. Come on, guys. I'll be in the FNAF movie. But this.
I'll be in the FNAF movie.
If they make a FNAF movie, Markiplier does that cameo as phone.
Above Free Guy is old.
It was fine. Like the first time I watched it, it was like semi-interesting, but it's pretty terrible, especially the twist.
It's awful. It's terrible.
I was engaged, I guess, watching it.
That's fine. Old was just like.
Shyamalan just doesn't have it anymore.
It was an experiment that really failed.
Shyamalan doesn't have it anymore. And he has like a new film coming out next year, like Dave Bautista, I guess, and apparently it's all in one shot.
Okay, I remember seeing trailers for that. Like this movie's actually like happening, and then like I saw it, I was like, okay.
Old. Like every single film he has that was like from the director of The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Split. 2 films that came out 20 years ago. One of them that was a fluke release.
Yeah.
I never put Glass or like the director of The Last Airbender and The Visit. People like The Visit. Why?
I don't. Is there anyone that actually likes The Visit?
People liked it when it came out. They're like, oh my god, this is so fucking scary. Old people throw diapers at people.
M. Night hasn't been good for a while. He's got like 2 good movies. You like The Visit?
I haven't seen it in a while. I remember this. There was like a grandma like dancing naked. Like, oh my god, what do we do? Run away.
He literally has like 3 good movies if you count Split. Like Split's like fine, I guess. Unbreakable's pretty good.
It's amazing.
It's pretty good.
It's a 6 out of 5. Making it a fraction of 1.5.
Unbreakable is pretty good.
Did it break though?
And The Sixth Sense is fine.
What's there? Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense is only really great because of the ending.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the film's fine.
And then now he's released Old, which was just kind of a weird, really experimental, but like an experiment. That
It's also based off like a comic.
I don't know. Old is just such a. All these movies I don't care about, except for Spiral. I kind of cared about Spiral because I'm a Saw fan.
Saw 10.
And I really cared about Space Jam as a film that I can fucking despise. Next is Eternals. Eternals is a bad Marvel movie. Let's just be honest. Marvel movies have to be done well, or they won't be good because of how formulaic and generic they can be.
This came out like a month before No Way Home, and like the absolute difference in quality is actually staggering. It's like actually like monumental.
Staggering, yeah.
Like Shang Chi and like Spider-Man were like the only good Marvel movies this year, and there was 4 of them.
Yeah, and Shang Chi wasn't even
Hopefully,
amazing.
Doctor Strange 2 is good. Hopefully, I don't see how it would be terrible, but I've been proven wrong before.
I don't know. They were just they're kind of easing into this Phase 4 stuff, and Eternals just did not work.
The characters are like at least were fine, I guess.
Well, they were fine, but there were so many, and I couldn't get attached to all of them.
Who the fuck was Sprite? Why would I want to figure a Sprite?
I hate Sprite so much. Sprite was such an awful character.
Gilgamesh?
Like, it was supposed to be an unlikable character, maybe, but if so, they didn't present that in like a charming way.
And then she just got turned good at the end. She became a normal kid. I thought she's just not interesting. Also, what the fuck is with that ending? Did you hear the director said originally the ending they were just gonna have it like all of them live, and they all just got taken to another ship to go to another planet. So the whole point of the film was actually pointless.
Sure.
Who's this director? She like won an Oscar one time.
I don't even care enough about the movie and its impact to like be like.
Will I buy a
upset about
steelbook?
any different ending.
No.
Then why would you even ask the question?
Would I buy it on Blu-ray?
It's also a 3 out of 10.
If it was like $3.
We're in the heavy 3 out of 10 range. There was a lot of 2s and 3s this year. There was not a strong return to film.
There was a lot of movies that got delayed and just like got released because like we have to release it. Like fucking Fear Street 3.
Like Coming to America, which is the next one. Coming to.
I heard people were excited for it. Everybody saw
America.
it. It was like the first movie.
Coming to America. It literally just they didn't do anything new, fresh, or original, and it wasn't. Funny.
I love it when
and
sequels.
It wasn't funny enough to be justified. 3 out of 10.
I love when sequels Ghostbusters do that. I love when series do that. I need the Ghostbusters box set.
Ghostbusters, incredible film. The 3 following films.
What?
Anyway, yeah. The next is Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I didn't see that. Did you and Tommy watch that together? Or you were going to? You guys were actually hyped.
We were going to, but we didn't. I watched it with my family again.
It's terrible, for what I heard.
It was pretty bad. It wasn't like that.
It's better than like the older ones, wasn't it?
At least it had some engaging action.
Is there like a sequel like happening?
I guess. There's no Johnny Cage. I don't know.
I think they said there'd be the next one.
Yeah.
I remember seeing an interview about that. They're like, I have everything good for the next one. I don't know what some movies doing this. Like, they're making universes, but the first was just so boring. And they're like, okay, the next one's gonna be good though.
I mean, unlike the original Mortal Kombat movie, there was actually some performances like fine.
I just don't know why you think Mortal Kombat would be a good movie. It's like a game that you just fight people in.
Yeah, it works well as a game. Just let it be that. There were some good.
Why is there a Tetris game in the making? I mean, movie.
They're actually doing that.
Look it up.
I don't want to. I don't want to know about that. Yeah, next is Ghostbusters Afterlife, which we talked. For some reason, that got like a bunch of views compared to our other episodes. I don't know
It was
what.
fine. I mean, I'd watch it again, but I just don't enjoy it.
It was okay.
Besides the ending, because you saw the original again, but that's
I
just
mean,
nostalgia.
it sucked. Look, it was terrible, but like, it was okay.
It was better than Ghostbusters 2. Was it?
There's just
They're actually the same quality, I think.
There's just not enough film there for it to be justified. If you're gonna make a sequel or a requel or a reboot or a remake or a redo or a reimagined,
Do something.
actually do something with it. Don't just be like, oh well, this is this. J.K. Simmons in it for 5 seconds because like he has to be, and like all this other stuff.
It has to be.
It's just fucking ridiculous. And then next is Malignant, which was awful and I hated it. But
People like it.
It's grown.
What's
It's
the actual.
it's grown on me a little more.
What's the general? It's like really high.
Yeah, it's really good. Everyone that I follow gave it a good rating except for Cinematics and then like our friends obviously, but they all gave it like a 6 out of 10. I gave it 3 stars.
It's fucking atrocious.
I wouldn't say atrocious.
No, not atrocious. It was just such a bad movie. Because like it was like a homage to like terrible B movies from like the 70s, but it's like okay, that's just like making a terrible B movie now.
It's just James Wan. I feel like I don't know. I actually don't think James Wan's that great, but I think he could do better than that.
He does good. With
It was just kind of like it's like more of like a homey, campy like horror movie, but like
he's really good at like building.
That to me. It
He's
doesn't work.
He's really good at building franchises and making sequels that actually are worse than the original. But then he makes this. So if Malignant 2 is actually good, I'll be surprised if they make one.
I hope not.
I'd
I'd rather see
successful.
Aquaman 2 because that's gonna be.
That's
awesome.
actually happening. He said it's gonna be darker, like more serious, and I'm like, I fucking hope.
I can't wait, bro. Actually, I mean, I kind of wanted it to be just like the first one because I loved Aquaman. Like, yeah, it was terrible, but I loved it.
I liked it. I really liked it the first time I watched it, but then I watched it the second time. I was like, this is actually like probably one of like the most like absolute fucking disgraces I've seen on screen. I didn't actually say that out loud. I was like, this is actually terrible. Jason Momoa was awful.
Well, I watched it the first time, and I was
Amber
like,
Heard is
man,
absolutely atrocious
This
at acting.
dialogue and these acting are just absolutely terrible.
Willem
And
Dafoe was at this.
It was almost so bad I couldn't get over it. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, honestly, like, I love the art direction and like a lot of things about this movie that like are fundamentally enjoyable. And like something about it is that it's a complete joke, but like in a good way.
There's an
almost.
octopus playing the drums.
So now we're getting a sequel. So we'll see. There's an octopus playing the drum.
Also, they have like all of his best villains in the first movie for some reason.
Yeah, like why?
Where's the sequel gonna go? Like Mana again?
There's supposed to be a DCEU here.
If you're Michael Keaton's gonna be like the main universe Batman now, and he's like 77 years old, instead of like anybody else.
I don't really want to see Michael Keaton as Batman ever again, but whatever.
In the Flash, bro.
Awesome. Malignant was not enjoyable.
Oh, we're still talking about
I
that?
didn't like it. 3 out of 10. Well, it wasn't as good as Wrong Turn 2021, which
Doesn't that surprise you? Because it was actually better than the previous 6
it
films.
was. Yeah, it's still a 3 out of 10, but it was still better than the rest of the Wrong Turn franchise. Surprisingly, somehow.
Nobody's excited for it. People are like, it's actually not terrible.
Yeah.
This is justified. But no Paul Walker. Why?
Why would Paul Walker be in Wrong Turn 2021
He's in Wrong Turn 1.
when he's A, dead, B, didn't like being in the first one?
Did he not?
Well, like, he was like, it was like a fine rule, but
Prefer to be in Fast and Furious 5.
there was like 5 sequels, and 4 were direct to DVD, or
4.
3 or 4.
Was the second one released in theaters?
I think it was. I don't remember that. Even that one might have been direct to DVD. I don't remember for sure, but the Wrong Turn franchise is an entire thing that we could talk about. But this 2021 one, like, it was actually kind of felt like a darker, more surreal, more realized, grounded, actual like like weird, like,
just take a right turn, bro.
a weird, like, cannibal horror movie. It was
This one was different, wasn't it?
I think it was actually the right direction to take the franchise in.
I'm killing you.
It still wasn't good though. 3 out of 10. It had a terrible ending. It tried to end like 5 different times, and it kept on going, oh, this ending, oh, this ending. It had some better moments with some interesting shots, some pretty good visuals.
I might watch it if I'm ever forced to.
Okay, that's not how you should view like a film. If you want to
Just
see
have my
the
eyes
movies.
open. Trinity loves Wrong Turn, bro. Favorite franchise.
Do you?
She prefers right U-turns.
And then above that, I put Black Widow because Black Widow was extremely mid, but I gave it
Made
3
8
out of
years
10.
too late.
Because, like, if there's no point in making it, just don't make it. Like, why would you?
The only point was introduced the new Black Widow, Yelena,
It's stupid.
and she's in the Hawkeye show. I don't know what they're doing with her now.
It's bad.
She's actually Hawkeye's a better like Black Widow film than the Hawkeye the show
Yeah.
about Hawkeye is a better commemoration of Black Widow as a character than the theatrical release, years in the making Black Widow theatrical release film. Theatrically.
It's like,
Then the
like
Hawkeye
that.
straight to TV show about Hawkeye and Hawkeye 2. Woman Hawkeye. Hawkgirl. That's decent.
yeah, Black Widow I didn't really like very much.
There
But,
was no black people.
but I mean, there's a couple things I want to say because after that I put the Fear Street trilogy and they're all together.
Which order?
In descending order of best to worst.
Like 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, in chronological descending order.
Oh, so it's
The
like
first,
best one's
the second,
first.
the third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trinity gets it.
Numerical. Whatever I was trying to say. I think I messed that up a couple times, but the Fear Street trilogy was really interesting because
Saw your girlfriend.
it was they were supposed to be films like they released one.
They released like week to week, didn't they?
Yeah, they
So
were
weird.
released like week after week. Or
And
whatever.
each one was set like a drastically different time period for some reason. I don't know why I haven't watched them.
It does actually make sense within the universe. That's what. See, here's the thing: they're not very good movies, but like they're kind of like adult Goosebumps stories. But it's like one continuing story,
Interesting.
but like 3 different ones making up the
Interesting.
one continuous story. Stop doing that.
Interesting.
But to be honest, there were actually some interesting character moments that I did dig throughout the 3, and the darker tone did kind of match it, and the world building was really nice, and it was great to see actual
I have one question.
in-universe consistency.
I have one question. Was the street called Fear Street? Why is it called Fear Street?
Yeah.
The street's called Fear Street?
You just have to watch it, man.
The street's just called Fear.
Or read the original R.L. Stein novelization.
Bro, turn on Fear Street. What if I'm not have a fear of it?
But the Fear Street trilogy, I give them all a 4 out of 10. Because, like, honestly, like, I did find myself invested watching all 3. There were a lot of unnecessary character and plot decisions, but overall, I did kind of enjoy them.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, last night at Soho?
Next is Halloween Kills, actually.
You're shit. Wait, no, that's before Fear Street. Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at it. Halloween Kills was fucking busting, bro. If by busting, I mean mid as fuck.
We were so excited for Halloween Kills.
Like, I do love it. It's like I loved watching it. Like, I always like, it's one of the better Halloween films, which is not saying much. It's like a 4 out of 10.
It's like top 3 Halloween film, and it's a 4 out of 10 max, because it's a bad movie. Terrible pacing. I wrote a review on that one, too. Terrible pacing.
Where's the second act?
The characters, what are they even doing with that? None of the acting was even that good. There's a couple of good performances. They barely used
The kills were good.
Which
Laura made sense why she wasn't in as much, but it's also like a trilogy about like her. I think
it was much less interesting.
The flashbacks
than I expected it to be.
That was like the only like actually like very well done part.
Good. Danny DeVito
was like how Michael Myers I get.
They were like, oh, that's Michael. For some reason, he was like this short like mental patient. Then he like fell out a window and died. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's not Michael. Like what?
Maybe
what
it's not.
Is this?
We never seen about his mask.
It doesn't make any sense.
I haven't rewatched in a while. The extended cut I heard adds a lot more lore and depth and like characterization in the added 4 minutes. So I must check it out when I buy the steelbook. It's a must buy. But
not a best buy, a must buy.
So my expectations of Halloween Ends are actually way lower. I'm still excited, but I'm just
how Halloween Ends turns out is definitely gonna affect this one a lot. But like I'm
is bad for a movie. To depend on another movie to be anywhere watchable.
Just as a Halloween fan, I was extremely generous in the 4 out of 10 rating because it's really not that good. But
it was a good first watch in the theater. But when it ended, I was like, "Is this like actually like?" Was it 3 acts? I don't think there was 3 acts. This was just an extended second act.
That's what I wrote in my review. I was like, from what I think might have been the second act, there was like a weird moment. And I was like, yeah, because I couldn't tell which act I was in.
I'm assuming the second act was when they went to the house.
And then the ending was just so abrupt, but at the same time, like something like kind of was like drawn out like in the middle. I don't know.
Well, they cut down the
ending. It was horribly paced.
Halloween Ends. This is going to be like a time jump now. What's Michael doing for 4 years? Just chilling in his house. There's a theory that Laurie buys the house and burns it to the ground. I was like, where's she getting this fucking money from? What the fuck? How'd she build that first house, bro? Where's she working, bro?
Nowhere.
She had 2 fucking husbands. Who does that? Except people with 3
Actually, my 2 most hyped films of the year were actually together because next was Godzilla vs. Kong. Because that also wasn't a very good movie, but...
It's amazing for like a kaiju.
It's a perfect kaiju movie, really. Like a perfect modern kaiju movie.
Well, I'll say with King of the Monsters, which was basically just a glorified Hollywood budget Showa movie, but which I love it for that. But like as a movie, it's not amazing. I think a lot of these monsters movies get a lot more flack than they need to because people just utterly like hate these movies because they're like, oh my god, the character, oh my god, there's one thing they did of Kong was terrible film. Round 2 sucked, and then it's just like.
There wasn't a round 2. That was so annoying. Round 2 goes to.
They just wanted to give Kong one win, so the Kong fanboys would be like, and then. I enjoyed the film. There's a lot of cool lore. The lore is really good. The fights were amazing. The movie itself is fine, I guess.
This is not a strong year for movies. Godzilla vs. Kong, I loved it, but
it was a great return to the theaters. I loved watching it.
The characters were terrible. I gotta admit, like Gio's fun, but like
like all the characters, like they were fine, but they just had no depth. They were just kind of there for the story. Like there was apparently like 5-hour cut, which I'd be interested to see. Like,
I mean, maybe there'd be like a fleshed out story there because this was all about the kaiju fighting, and like I love that. I love it for that.
Hollow Earth was cool. I definitely want more in this universe, which is a good sign. And I would gladly buy the steelbook of this movie, but like, I don't see myself ever watching again outside for the kaiju fights, which isn't good for a movie. For a kaiju movie, that's good. But like,
right, I'll obviously be rewatching it, and I do love it as a kaiju fan.
I love all the monstrous movies for separate reasons, but like all of them, none of them are actually like class tier films. Or neither are they the best of franchises by a long shot.
Yeah, no.
This is definitely the better Godzilla vs. Kong movie. With that,
than King
the original,
Kong vs. Godzilla,
which is like fun to watch, just like nostalgia as a fan.
Kong
but like it's actually
Kong has lightning powers.
It's utterly terrible as a film.
Kong
in every aspect
has lightning powers.
People want that back in this movie. I was like, why? It makes no sense.
Kong has lightning powers.
Even as like a 5-year-old, I watched that. I was like, wait, he did not have that in any other generations. Also, why does he look terrible? Why is Godzilla green? What?
The next one is probably one of the more popular films of the year. It's a really big deal. A lot of discussion. Because,
Shang-Chi?
Because the Snyder Cut.
I fucking love that movie, bro. Why is it so low?
Well,
the Justice is great cut.
I think we're in the top half now.
Oh, okay.
It's still a 4 out of 10.
I wouldn't go that low. It was a great film based on it was a great movie, but like it was great like that it came out because of like what it represented.
Yes, that is very
for
good.
Creative like Hollywood, because this not
creative
like directors
and freedom, which is very good, and that is great.
It's also
and especially compared to the Whedon cut of Justice League, which was
this is far better.
Abysmal.
That's like a 1.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be a half. I'm just kidding.
I give it a half.
Just for that fucking mustache.
Absolutely terrible. But the Snyder Cut, I actually felt some character moments there and some enjoyable things.
Well, part of like the arc, but also feels unfinished because there's definitely like another one.
I really do think that if like if like it could have been shaped in a different way, where if it was like more like half the story in a much shorter film, I could have enjoyed it a lot more.
It shouldn't have been made so early. The last movie was Batman and Superman. The last one before that was Superman. And that was just like The Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Who's thought doesn't need to be in this. And also, this movie's kind of not going to age super well if there's like never a continuation because it ends on such a fucking open note. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really did. Like,
I do want to see
like the Snyderverse can be restored.
The fucking actual fucking movie this was supposed to turn into at the end.
Right.
And it was actually a bit good. And the Snyder's a weird guy. He has a lot of weird stories. Such it's like he wanted Bruce to like get Lois pregnant.
Yeah, why?
Right. Like I get maybe he had a story reason, but he also wanted like Batman to get raped in prison. He did have a quote about that where he's like, I feel like it'd be a cool character decision. Like Batman for some reason got like raped in Arkham, and I was like, what did you just say? You talking about BVS? This is like my a AMC theater interview. I think if we got gay rid of the bathroom, add a lot to the narrative and the story depth.
Yeah.
Also, it's completely fucking unnecessary. What are you, Rob Zombie?
I don't know. I mean, everybody wants the Snyderverse to be restored now, so if
they better whatever the fuck they're doing right now. Who gives a flying fuck about Birds of Prey?
Birds of Prey? Oh my gosh.
DC's terrible.
Like, that just like got released. I didn't see anything about it. I just saw that it was released. I was like,
I still haven't
was this
seen it.
hyped up? You haven't seen it?
No.
It sucks.
Oh, Ridge! The Ridge film. Animated.
But Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's at least something I can commemorate and respect. So I did give it a 4 out of 10, being respectable. And now we're moving into the 5 out of 10s. Yay! Not negative scores. We're in the top 15 now.
The definition of a cinephile is somebody that never enjoys movies but just constantly watches them.
Me?
I'm just kidding. Well, most cinephiles are very harsh on films. People are like, do you even like watching movies? It's like, yeah. I like 4 out of 10 films.
Obviously, yeah.
They're just terrible.
In my top 100 list is a 3 out of 10, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, because I love that film, but it's terrible. Shorty. Ray and the Last Dragon. It's just a generic Disney movie.
Trilogy.
Did you watch that one?
She doesn't watch films, she experiences them.
Okay. But Ray and the Last Dragon was like bad.
By the way, how do you like your Simpsons?
It was extremely mid.
I like your Simpsons as good as you remember.
This is not the time to talk about this.
It's fine. Nobody watches this anyway. Besides
She likes
Mason.
it a lot, though.
That's good.
Exactly.
Zack Snyder.
Ray and the Last Dragon.
Wait, why is it fucking Army of Thieves on this?
Army of Thieves?
Did I hear about that?
I didn't watch that.
Also, what was that one that Army of the Dead?
Army of the Dead.
Is that on the list?
I didn't see it.
Oh, I thought you did. Because you wanted to watch it.
I wanted to watch it because it was a Snyder zombie movie for some reason, and I'm interested in Zack Snyder's work, and I like zombie movies, but
Just never got to it.
it was probably terrible. I don't really care. I know there was a zombie tiger. That's all I need to know.
I heard it was interesting concept, but not like amazing.
Speaking of extremely mid, Last Night in Soho.
I did not see that.
I
almost did.
I
was interested by the trailer.
I love Edgar Wright, so I wanted it to be so much better, but it really wasn't that good.
Some people love it.
Yeah.
It's very divisive.
Which is justified.
This is like his next. This was his film right after Baby Driver, which was like very well received.
Yeah, Baby Driver was really good, and obviously he's got like the Cornetto trilogy, like Shaun of the Dead, fucking
Haven't seen.
Masterpiece. Hot Fuzz,
Haven't seen.
a masterpiece. Freaking At World's End, still really really good. You need to watch that.
I don't think I've seen a single Edgar Wright movie. Actually, I think I've seen
Paul?
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, Scott Pilgrim.
Wait, he did Paul?
Yeah, Paul.
Is that a good movie?
Nah, I don't think that was Edgar Wright.
I was gonna say I don't think that was.
No, it was just Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
What? What just happened? We're almost done, I think.
Well, yeah, we've only got a few more. But last night in Soho, like I wanted it to be a lot better. It was a really interesting concept, but like it was just extremely mid tier. Like I enjoyed it, I did.
Was it The Last Night?
And I think it was definitely one of the better films of the year.
What
Like
was
I have it as number.
What was the
13,
better
but
Last Night film? Last Night in Soho or Transformers: The Last Night?
Last Night in Soho, so easily. So I would say Last Night in Soho. It's fine. And next up, so for some reason, Letterboxd has it as 2020, even though it was released in 2021 for us, and that's when I saw it. but it's A Quiet Place Part 2.
That wasn't released in 2020. Some people saw it, like, screeners.
Yeah.
But that was delayed.
But I put it in my 2021 ranking because that's when it was released for me, and that's when I saw it.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't
I did
really
enjoy
necessary.
After I saw it a second time, I was like, okay, well, this definitely has some pacing issues, and some other things that are
the
like...
ending is, like, it makes sense, but it's extremely abrupt in, like, the experience.
Yeah. It has some good moments.
It also ends the same.
But it kind of felt unnatural. Like, it was a pretty good sequel, I would say. Like, as far as sequels go. It's still, like, a 5 out of 10.
It's still, like, continued the universe in, like, interesting ways. It, like, added some stuff. It wasn't, like, just the first one.
And I think it delivered on a lot of, like, fundamentally what made the first one good. Like, exploring a lot more about the aliens and, like, how they react and, like, treat with certain things. Or, like, the creatures.
I like the whole beginning where, like, it should, like, when they first came down. That was pretty well done.
Yeah, it was
probably
cool.
One of the best sequences of the film, actually.
Yeah, it was really good to see that and, like, an actual good origin. Plus, John Krasinski was able to...
He had to put himself in there.
Yeah.
He
and the moments where they switched to the daughter's perspective and how she's deaf, and I think they handle that really well. A lot with like the different how they use sound in these two movies is really good. But other than that, narrative wise, it was just kind of okay, and they didn't really like a lot of character like decisions were really stupid, and like they didn't really justify that. Plus a lot of other things like pacing, good visuals, but like not like amazing. Like it wasn't like consistently visually engaging, so I would have preferred that. Overall, it was fine. I think it's my 12th favorite film of the year, and you're probably gonna laugh at the next one, but yeah.
What was that?
It's Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
That came out? Was it actually good?
Straight out of nowhere. It's just Scooby-Doo and Courage.
Yeah, they keep doing random crossovers. I think just...
It's a 5 out of 10. Moving on.
Well, is there anything, like, interesting about it? What was the villain?
I don't want to talk about it.
Why'd you watch it?
Okay, it was actually pretty funny. Because it was great to see Courage the Cowardly Dog back, bro.
Yeah, he's been gone for, like, years. Why'd he come back at this?
I don't know.
Wasn't the show canceled, like, years ago?
A long time ago, yeah. They're still making Scooby-Doo movies, though. Remember Scoob?
Did that come out this year?
Scoob.
Or was that last year?
That was last year.
Wasn't it terrible?
It was terrible, yeah.
Was there a line of Daphne saying she has, like, daddy issues? For, like, some reason? like, that's extremely good for, like, my fan fictions. But, like, what?
Anyway, moving into the top 10 of the year, we start with Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
That was actually pretty solid. More than I thought it would be. It's not like amazing, though. The villain was good. The action was good. It was just another Marvel movie.
The villain was fine. The action choreography I really enjoyed. But, like, it had, like, a lot of just, like, oh, yeah, of course, like, she finally has a good, like, arrow shot, and it's, like, to save the day, straight to the front of the fucking thing. Also, Aquafina was fucking annoying. Also, it was still formulaic, like most Marvel movies are. Also, some of the humor was fine, but most of the time it was just annoying. But, like
with a fucking Mandarin from Iron Man 3.
It had interesting visuals, some cool, like, world building, good action choreography, which is all you really want. 5 out of 10. Top 10 film of the year. Which is kind of upsetting that I just said those words. But
5 out of 10. Top 10.
Of that I've seen. I'm sure there's a lot of great movies this year that I haven't seen. I know that there is, but like I haven't seen The French Dispatch, which I want to watch because I like Wes Anderson.
Okay, Nobody is next? I haven't seen it.
You didn't see Nobody?
I heard it was fun.
It was just a whatever action movie. It was
like John Wick, but like it was a regular guy.
Yeah.
But like he's still basically John Wick.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. Luca.
I didn't see it.
You didn't watch Luca either? Did you watch Luca?
I think I saw Luca.
I saw Luca.
The theaters?
It was just kind of a generic animated movie, which is upsetting for Pixar because Pixar used to always knock it out of the park with incredible animated films. But now we get films like Luca, which is really enjoyable and it's a good kid's story and it's got some good heartwarming moments. But overall, it was just kind of whatever. So I gave it a 6 out of 10. Animation was beautiful.
Yeah, that's one thing they're good at now. But it's like it's always good now. It's like
okay,
it has to be a good movie now.
Can I please get a good narrative? I really liked number 7. It was Candyman.
It was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing.
It was fine.
Has good stuff in it. Decent messages. A little overplayed.
It also has some pacing issues, which has popped up a lot this year with like mainstream releases and like how they're actually paced.
Like, this is an amazing film. Cut it down.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, Tommy's only 30 minutes. Like 17 hours.
They did some really good stuff with like the lore of the actual history of the Candyman and like the story there. We talked about it quite a bit. It had amazing visual style. The visuals were really great. Yeah, she did a great job. But like,
she's doing Captain Marvel too.
Outside of like the primary characters, I didn't like any of the characters, and that was a big drawback. Well, Dave was fine, whatever.
What are you pointing at? You can keep pointing if you want. I'm just curious.
And just
that didn't really be mean. I was just like, what the fuck you pointing? There's a lot of disturbances going on here. My dog's dead. Okay, so back to Candyman. Pretty solid film. I'm watching it. If like I was ever forced to, like it knocked in my throat. But like honestly, it was fine. I don't know if it's as good as the first one.
It wasn't as good as the first
haven't seen.
I'll just the original is a pretty good horror movie, and I really.
Is it also about a black guy? Yeah, like
they had some good like callbacks to the first one. I think what I liked a lot about this 2021 Candyman
Tony Todd
again. Tony Todd did a cameo. That was really cool. But it worked as itself, and it was a decent continuation of the original. So, still wasn't phenomenal, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I will be returning to it probably 6 out of 10.
Now your next two I haven't seen, but like you've seen them. The Batman animated.
Oh yeah, the Batman: The Long Halloween, which
I heard were good, but like I also haven't heard like a lot.
There's not too much to say about those, but they're just good Batman stories that are animated. A lot of DC animated movies are
just the comic book animated.
Fun. Yeah.
So it's just like if you like the comic.
So they're both just 7.
Except the Killing Joke, which like they did terrible adaptations. What I heard, they did wrong. They make like Batgirl and Batman have like sex or something.
I don't know. I'll talk about the Killing Joke.
It was like really disappointing.
The Long Halloween Part 2, then the Long Halloween Part 1, I think.
Oh, I've seen the next one.
And then we reached the top 4, which the top 4 are actually all pretty good movies, and I'm really happy that they came out this year. Except for number 3, because I think objectively it's good, but like we'll get to that. But number 4 is The Suicide Squad.
Not blank Suicide Squad.
That's what I just said.
The asking. I'm just kidding. It was good. Actually, it was a lot better than I thought it would be. I kind of want to rewatch it because it's very rewatchable. I think
it is rewatchable.
A lot of good characters,
a
lot of fun style. Very James Gunn. Very rated R.
Yeah,
which I like because if it's called Suicide title, maybe it shouldn't be PG-13.
Well, just a thought. It did a good job with those Suicide Squad characters. He used some obscure ones.
John Cena was acting fine in this. Like he's never acted good.
Yeah, he was actually.
That has his own show.
Yeah,
it's coming out next month. And you can watch.
Can I?
It's on HBO Max.
Oh yeah. Overall, it was just fine.
It was good. I mean, the villain was cool.
I really enjoyed it.
I like the villain because it was like it's just a fucking starfish.
The humor actually was pretty decent, or at least for the most part.
How they killed the starfish was like a little disappointing. Like I get like the story said, but it's really just a bunch of fucking rats.
Yeah.
What's engaging about that?
Like, come on.
Usually I was like, oh, I hate rats. Oh, they're cool.
They played into a lot of comedy with it, and they had a pretty good narrative, but overall, like, it was lacking.
It also fucking
some story elements.
Terribly.
Did it?
Didn't do good in theaters at all.
Well, everybody just watched it on streaming.
Yeah, because I had no interest in going out to the theaters to see it. Yeah, like, I wanted to support it, but I was like, I don't want to go on my way to a film that was terrible a few years ago. Like, even though this is going to be better. Just off the trailer. They made me semi-care about characters from the first film that I didn't, so I'll give you plus for that.
Yeah,
Harley Quinn's just in these films doing like random things. I don't get why about those Harley Quinn so much. And then,
I mean, overall, I did really enjoy it. I had some really good visual style. James Gunn, like you said, it was very James Gunn, and he always does a pretty good job.
Yeah, he did really good with the Guardians film. This isn't reach that, but this is good. This is like one of the better DC films in a while.
Also, Idris Elba, it's like weird to gauge him now because I still kind of enjoy him and some stuff. But he also was like he was in Cats,
fucking Knuckles,
and he was gonna be Knuckles, and he's done a lot of stuff that's like
Pacific Rim. First one. What's next? West Side Story. I didn't see that, but I heard it was really good.
It was really good, but I only gave it a 7 out of 10 because
it's kind of a musical.
It's a musical, and
I'm not
like
a fan of
it was done in the '60s really well.
So then why they do it again?
Because Spielberg did it.
Because he wanted to. What's his next project? He's not doing Indy 5.
I don't know. It was weird that he even had a project to me because I don't even know. Like he's always doing something. It seems like, and then this is what he did, West Side Story, which I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It had great visual style. It had a good narrative to it. It had some really good plot points throughout, and it's West Side Story again. I've seen the play multiple times. The musical.
What, you have?
Yeah.
Like in person?
Yeah, a few times.
And is it here? They play it here?
Maybe at the Playhouse sometimes. I don't know.
Where'd you see it?
In Minnesota.
How'd you enjoy it? I actually don't know what the story is. I think I might have seen it.
It's a good musical. Well, it's basically kind of like a Romeo and Juliet, but it was supposed to be a modern one. And the 1960s adaptation is actually a really good film.
Really modern.
and then this is just kind of doing it again. That's why.
Is it also in the 60s? Like, it's not like in modern day?
Yeah, it's not.
Which would make it at least, like, different.
That would have been cool, kind of. I don't know. It's just
I
not.
don't think Spielberg
it's
knows.
not original enough.
Spielberg doesn't know about like modern world really do.
Like, yeah, I think it's the third best film of the year because I did enjoy it, and there was it is a lot more good than bad. And it is a good movie, but it's just not original enough for me.
I think Spielberg's kind of past his prime because he can't keep up with everything.
He
nowadays.
did Munich.
What the fuck is that?
It's a good movie. You haven't seen that?
He did fucking Ready Player One, and that was like he tried to be really modern with that and like really hip. It did
by referencing the past nonstop.
It's like Jurassic Park, King Kong, remember Aliens, Superman,
Back to the Future?
Back to the Future, Iron Giant. What? God.
There was
also, how was Mechagodzilla like actually like legally in that movie?
I don't know. I've never actually looked into that. I don't know how they did that.
But next film.
But I love the top two films so much. I love them so much. They're so amazing. They're so good. I love them so much.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man No Way Home was amazing. I loved it. My heart wanted to give it a 10, but it's more like a 7. Had some issues, but I loved it. We talked about it last week, so we don't have to go too much into it.
You know, something in my side.
But it was a great way to end off the year since, I mean, I still have to watch Matrix Resurrections, but like...
It's going to be top 2.
From what I've seen, I'm probably end up not actually going to like it, but I will watch it, and we will see.
It's on HBO Max if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it tonight!
I'd have to re-get your login because I have a new phone.
I like a new phone too. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Just an iPhone 12 now.
Well, I heard like that it was like she was talking about it. That like she
was
looking for a phone case, but she didn't actually explicitly say she had a new phone. And I was like, what?
Yeah, she kept trying to find a new one. I think she was gonna ask Trinity for one, but she never told me if she did or not. So, but back to the movies.
No Way Home.
No Way Home was really good. Best of the Hollywood films.
Yes, and one of the best superhero movies I've seen since Endgame. The best one.
Spider-Verse ran so this film could fly. With the multiverse concept, like fans' reactions. They fucking screamed with this movie.
Yeah.
Especially those Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Verse is still a lot better.
Yeah, it's like a film, but like the concept-wise, like it hit. I think audiences a lot better in this one because they actually had Spider-Man like they've seen before.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, like that film did well. It didn't make $1 billion in like a week, but like made like one eighth of that, I think. But like that film is definitely better.
But it's great to see the return to theaters, and
I mean, I just don't think I'll rewatch Into Spider-Verse, so it's kind of like it's right below Venom 2 for me. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
I will walk out.
Spider-Verse is like a 9, and Venom's like a 2, but like I watch Venom a lot more, so it's objectively better as a film. Just because it's on TV more.
So it's objective.
Okay, Dune. I don't know if that's my favorite of the year, but it was one of my favorites for sure.
Dune was amazing. I freaking loved it.
There's not like a single part of the film I really dislike.
My favorite film of the year is only an 8 out of 10 because it did have some problems, but
its main problem is that it's really just such a part 1.
It is such a part 1, and it's got to with that.
And the characters aren't really fully developed. That's also because it's like part 1 of the first book.
Yeah, so. and I don't think it would really work for everybody because it is a commitment at nearly 3 hours.
That's not good.
But I loved the characters. There were some great performances. The score and soundtrack were incredible. The visuals were stunning. It was great to see world building and to see a true, actual adaptation of the story, of the source material. And I'm excited to see a part 2 in a couple years.
And maybe a part 3.
Denis Villeneuve is a very good director. And
wait, what did you just say? How'd you say his name?
Denis Villeneuve.
Is that how he says it?
I'm pretty sure it's Denis.
No, the last name.
Villeneuve?
I thought it was like Villeneuve or something like that. I don't know how he says it.
Villeneuve?
It's kind of a weird last name. It's not really big. It's not like Michael Bay.
I have...
Michael Bay. Michael Bay has a film coming out. That fucking ambulance trailer. Oh my God.
Oh, it's terrible. It's actually pronounced Michelle Ba. Okay.
Can I kill your boyfriend? Illegally.
You can't legally by asking somebody. It's so illegal.
But yeah, Dune was up there. I was like hyped for it, but not super hyped. But it would genuinely impress me, especially if you could have seen it in like IMAX.
I was really nervous that it was still might not have been good, but I was really expecting it to be good, and it definitely met those expectations. And
the director was definitely a big fan, so that's good. Yeah. And the studio did not like make him. I think this was like the whole movie. I don't know if there's any deleted scenes. Really, maybe a few. Extended cut.
It was really good, and I was really happy to see.
Then again, I thought Dr. Sleep was like the full movie, and then like it's like half an hour longer.
It's close to a 9 out of 10 because really there isn't much wrong with it, but it does have a few like issues.
It'll probably go up after the second film comes out, but then I'll kind of view those films as like one thing Kind of like how you like Infinity War and Endgame, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're kind of like they're both.
It got me very excited for a potential franchise, even maybe. And
of all the books, all 25 that we found out. Yeah, there was like actually only like 6.
There's like 7, but maybe also 40. So,
like the kid's son's like, you know what? My dad's dead, but this is like a business is booming. Dune Part 8.
I highly recommend Dune. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Go Dune it.
If I give a film an 8 out of 10, that's pretty good. There's not many films that I would give 8 and higher.
Okay, what's one you give 10 out of 10? Don't say the thing.
Spider-Man is the Spider-Verse.
Don't say that.
I already said it. The Thing.
Don't say anything.
The Shining.
Oh shit! I've already got a film here.
The Alien.
What do you give the regular show film out of 10?
There's a film?
Yeah. It's like an hour and 8 minutes. I don't know why it's called regular show the movie. I don't think it's legally counted as a film.
Let me see if it's in the Letterboxd's database.
So it's the Hawkeye show and it's 300 minutes.
Regular show the movie 2015.
Yeah, it was
70 minutes.
Yeah, it was solid, but it's like
pretty good rating.
I don't know if it's legally a film. This would be like an hour 20.
There, you happy?
Have you seen it?
No.
Allie's like,
well, I probably have seen it at some point, but
it's like a time travel one. It was pretty good. I don't know why it can be called the movie, but.
But how do you feel about films in 2021 in general, man?
Better than 2020, because there was like 6 that year.
2020 had like Children of the Corn.
11, and then there was some duds for sure. Some films I was excited for that I actually like enjoyed for the most part. Then there was films like Space Jam 2, and Black Widow. Yeah. But I'm much more excited for this next year. So I feel there's gonna be a lot more better films, probably, hopefully, besides Morbius.
Yeah.
Allie's charger. Oh, is your phone dead? Just have Tommy text me when he's done, because he totally knows that. He'll probably text Ellis. But this was a good year, I think, for the most part.
Really?
Not like actually, it wasn't really. Like, there's movies I enjoyed for sure, but there wasn't like a lot standouts that were actually like amazing that I can find myself watching for like years on end. Besides like films that like I enjoy, like a fan of like certain series.
I gotta say there are a lot of big releases that I didn't see because I didn't see No Time to Die or The Many Saints of Newark or some other things like that. I haven't.
Why is that Texas Chainsaw? No, it's fucking Resident Evil was so bad.
Oh yeah,
that was so bad.
That's one that I didn't see that you did.
It was so bad. It was such like a half.
IHE just rated it.
Yeah,
give it a half star.
It was terrible. It was. I guess it was probably better than the other ones because they were also like terrible.
No, it's more.
Why did they feel the need to make Resident? They keep making video game films that like don't need to be movies because like the games themselves are pretty much just like a movie. Yeah. Like Resident Evil games are a story. Like Uncharted's a story. Why do you need a movie? Also, that's coming out. Maybe 22 is not gonna be good. I changed my mind. Eternals 3 is coming out. I can't.
What?
They're skipping over 2. It's like Thanksgiving. They're following in the footsteps.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe we'll finally get like an announcement for Deadpool 3 if that's ever happening, and then.
Well, I mean, they kind of like confirmed it, but then it was like, oh, well, maybe.
We'll see. He wants to take a break. Tom Holland and Ryan Reynolds will take a break from acting like in the middle of their franchises. Yeah. Holland's like, I want to start a baby. I want to have a baby. I want to start a baby project. Oh yeah, I told Justin about our cat, and he asked, "What's the name?" And I said like Untitled Kitty Project. Untitled Princess Carolyn
People
Project.
Won't get that. Yeah. Dancing with Fire.
I would call her Ruthie.
We got through episode 4, by the way.
Out of 10? Which one was that?
I forgot. Oh, the rock opera.
Oh, that's such a good episode, kind of. The ending's good. Did you like it?
Zoe's and Zelda's.
Are you a Zoe or a Zelda? That's the real question. Total Zelda.
I didn't see Pig, which I heard some good things about.
Nicolas Cage is just weird. Maybe he's gonna be Superman. But
I haven't seen The French Dispatch. There's a few other films that came out this year I haven't seen. So hopefully I get around to them at some point. A lot of like less mainstream but still really good movies.
Yeah, I mean next week we'll probably talk about, I don't know, films we're hyped for next year.
Sure, we can do that.
Well, it'll be like January by then.
It will be, yeah.
Will you guys move in by then? That's not the 5th, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
We'll still be forced that time.
Okay. Oh, we can come in the apartment.
But this is the last AmityCast of the year, so be sure to subscribe.
Our first year.
Many more to come next year.
Hopefully.
Well, I would assume, I would hope so. I'm in for the ride.
Boys' Night's canceled. Boys' Night canceled.
Can't wait for the summer when we can just do it every week.
From like beginning of May to like end of August.
Yeah.
And Trinity's like, we'll probably be at the apartment. Actually, we'll probably still record here, but like.
Yeah, we can record here, but then hang out there or whatever.
Because there's not really like a room to record there. Don't want to intrude on you and Hades' personal time.
Okay, I think Dune is the best film of the year. No Way Home might be my favorite. Maybe Dune is. Those two I really love. What's your favorite film of the year, Matthew?
Probably like Santa Jaws 3.
All right, I'm gonna end the podcast.
It's probably Dune or No Way Home. I don't like. I really want Halloween Kills to be, but it's just not.
I wanted it to be. Hey, Across the Spider-Verse is coming out next year, and Halloween Ends.
And
Halloween Kills.
Strange 2. Thor 4.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the next year. Or
2023, like May.
Yeah.
When I'll be like in my junior year of college. Just think about it.
Oh.
If I make it up for.
But I mean, there's some good things that come in 2022. We'll definitely have a lot of discussion to go. But I guess that's gonna cap our first year of AmityCast. Not like it hasn't been a year, but the first, you know.
Year or so.
Be sure to check out my letterbox for my full 2021 films ranking. Some of them I've written reviews on. So I hate Space Jam. I love Dune. That's kind of how it goes.
Same.
Space Jam: A New Legacy was awful. South Park keeps making jokes about it. It's great. Yeah.
Your secret.
But if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, and tune in next week. I don't know what we're discussing yet, but we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, but thanks for watching, guys. Have a good year. End of year. New year.
Yeah, have a happy new year. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Anything else? We still can't end these.
Really? Be honest with me.
No.
Did you steal that guy's pizza?
Piranha 2, the Sponic.
I stole 6 pizzas.